Hey, welcome back to the most innovative shipping container channel on YouTube. And we've got a bunch of projects going on. It's been a really busy week, month, a year, you name it. Not complaining. I like being busy. We're lucky to be busy. It's just a lot of deadlines. Everybody wants everything now, and we keep cleaning the shop, and it just gets destroyed the next day. So we cleaned this morning, and we're already back to destroyed. So excuse the mess. But we've got a lot of really cool stuff to show you guys. And so behind me is this 20-foot office. We'll look at that. We'll look at another one we're building, another garage we're building, and so on. Like I said, it's just been crazy busy, and we're fortunate to have all this work. So I'll go through these projects a little bit, and thanks for watching. So let's go take a look. All right, first up, 20-foot office. This was actually an eBay purchase. And we had one here ready to go, sold it, and of course, like the next day he ordered it, so we got banging on it right away. This is a 20-foot one-trip slate gray, which is my favorite color. But we'll run around the outside real quick, the inside, and go from there. So if you're buying a shipping container with windows, doors, stuff like that, from a distance, look at the profile of the window to the corrugation. This should be perfectly parallel, or else that window is in there crooked. And then the window should be perfectly square inside the window frame. The other thing is, I see a lot of just booger welds on the windows. So we stitch weld around the inside, and then we Sikaflex the exterior because we like the finish, we like the paintability. Aesthetically, it's very pleasing, and so we prefer to do it this way. So this is sort of our finish here. And you prime, clean the metal really well, prime really well, and then 2 coats of paint. It's a process to install just a window or just a door. Just the paint and prep work is ours. So here's the window in the frame. And so we use a white Sikaflex here. And we actually go down to such detail that we scuff up the edge of the vinyl of the window so that the Sikaflex adheres even better. And then we get a pretty wide bead on here just so it never leaks. And then we also Sikaflex from the inside. We Sikaflex the outside of the frame, outside of the window, inside the frame, inside the window. Then we screw the window in. So just super heavy duty attention to detail on all of these items. So here's the door, same thing. We use a 4-inch threshold, and then we use a cinch seal. And I like these because they have a drip rail on the outside. If you don't have this drip rail here, you can have that water run down the door and then in, and it's going to try to penetrate this seal. So we just do everything possible to try to prevent water intrusion. One thing that's not on here yet are the door seals that go around the perimeter. That's one of the last things we do. We usually go with the deadbolt and the regular lock. The reason we like the deadbolt is when we ship these containers down the road, they hit bumps. You cannot trust this lock to stay shut. Of course, you could secure the door shut somehow, but we deadbolt it for transport. I've had a door come open before that didn't have a deadbolt, and we had a zip tied, which was probably not the best way. A lot of ways to kind of secure the door. But the deadbolt gives the customer more security for everyday use and gives us security and peace of mind when these are going down the road. And a lot of them go 5, 6, 7, 800 miles shipping. So this customer wanted the shiplap with the conduit on the inside. The other way we do this is Romex on the interior of the walls, and so you don't have any exposed electrical lines. I kind of prefer the conduit most of the time because it gives you flexibility and it kind of gives you a little bit of an industrial commercial feel, and a lot of these are commercial applications. So the way we do the breaker box is we typically go 3 breakers, mini split, back wall, lights in front. And so if you want to go 240 on this later, in case you have a lot of high amperage draw items in here, you can just add a 240 plug on the outside and this is already ready to go. We've got the Della mini split. It's probably my favorite mini split for several different reasons, but the Wi-Fi and the app are very easy to use. I like the insulation on the lines for the Della a lot better. I just like everything about it. And that's installed. We are in the process of painting. If you can't tell, we've got the walls painted. The ceiling is not painted except where the corrugation's running. So the shiplap comes primed, and then we usually do 2 coats of paint. So we've got the paint run where the conduit's running. So we just need to paint the top, and we are finishing up trim work right now. So you can see we are casing the windows out. These windows go in a 2x3 frame. We use 2x3 studs. Those studs meet the frame spot on. Everything's square and plumb. And so we're casing out the windows now, and then we'll use like a 4-inch white trim. And I don't like to 45 the trim. I like to do a kind of a farmhouse feel square cuts. So this is this office getting wrapped up. And just for those of you that haven't been watching our videos, yes, this does all run off of one extension cord, and I'll explain why. That mini split draws about 7 or 8 amps all running all the way out. So if you're on a 15 amp breaker, just use a good like 12 gauge extension cord. And so you got 15 amps, obviously. And so if you're drawing 7 or 8 amps from the mini split, that leaves about 7 or 8 amps, not continuous, but peaked out at 15 amps for everything else. A computer draws maybe around half an amp. Mini fridge draws 2 to 3 amps. A full-size fridge draws 4 to 5 amps. So you can have a couple computers, a TV, a fridge, the mini split. The lights are like, they're LEDs, so they only draw like 20 watts. So you're good just on an extension cord. But a lot of people really don't believe that the extension cord runs this entire container. And I'll take you over to another container because I've seen what we can run just off the extension cord. So we're going to take it to another level. So next video is going to be the other 20-foot high cube office container that we're working on. So we're going to paint this, wrap it up, and so watch for the next video on the double high cube container, which is right there.